I have debated whether or not to do this video for a while now. That's how 8-Bit Politics did it, so I thought I didn't have to. However, after talking to Black Mom for as long as I have decided to just go at it, because why not? And it's free, stuff, because I had it up and ready to go. Not a lot of research to do either, because I already know this stuff, so let's get right into it.
You stupid fucking... Ninja. You stupid fucking oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ!
What a f***er.
I'm disappointed because now I don't get to use my censoring technique that I wanted to try. Oh well, I'll just wait till next time it happens.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's PewDiePie on 2 different occasions, dropping the N-bomb.
Technically, he only said it once if you listen to the audio that you used at the beginning of your video. And even then, he was going to use the not hard R one, which people say is okay. So I mean, you are really just grabbing offense at anything, aren't you?
Now before I get started, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm a saint. I'm not going to sit up here and lie and say that I've never said anything offensive.
The most offensive thing you said is comparing a word to that of an actual genocide. Not only was it offensive to me because you are basically going against a plight of people who have actually been through genocide, that are still alive. I don't know if there's any still alive, but still. But you're giving this word such power over you. There's a saying that kids are told that you should live by. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but names will never hurt you. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and predict anything you're gonna say about me. 1, you're going to go after my speech impediment, which if so, pathetic, try something new. 2, you're gonna come up with a nickname using the username GoGet, which I've had before, so again, better, come on, you have some creativity inside of you. And 3, you'll try to disprove my points using strawman or falsehoods. So, let's see if I'm correct in my assumptions, shall we?
But one thing I don't do is call people racial slurs.
No, you and your groups of friends prefer the homophobic variety, don't you?
People, it is 2017. And yet, people still act as if they are confused on why you don't use a racial slur.
It's almost as if people believe it to be a word with no inherent power except what you give it. I mean, it's not my fault people see, like, normal humans instead of SJWs like yourself.
You guys need to stop acting dumb and stop pretending like you don't already know. Because if you truly think it's cool and acceptable to go out and use racial slurs, then I implore you to walk into your place of employment and use them.
This analogy is not a good one for this type of behavior on the internet. The internet is a place for expressing yourself. Yes, you get some edgelords, but still, you have the right to express yourself without the need to feel judged or anything like that. Should people say these words? I don't personally think so. I believe it to be distasteful. However, at the same time, I live in America, so I would defend people's right to say it. That's the double-edged sword that I get handed whenever I believe this stuff. I don't believe people should say it, however, I would defend their right to say it. And before you fire out with your, oh, you're racist or whatever, look in the mirror, buddy. Tell me, have you ever generalized anybody? Have you ever said anything at all that could be taken as a generalization? Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure you saying everybody who's defending PewDiePie is a bunch of tiki torch wielding whatever counts towards that. But hey, what do I know? It's definitely not like I actually read the Constitution that defend our rights. I mean, of course I don't remember it because it's been a while, but still. It's not like that I study people who actually do this stuff and win arguments about this, how they do it, what they say. It's not like I do actual research into these subjects, now is it? No, I'm just some nobody on the internet who knows nothing, right?
But we know none of you cowards will do that because you know, even if you pretend not to, exactly what will happen if you do. You'll be fired.
What would happen if you said it while you were self-employed? What would happen then? Would you have to fire yourself? Would you?
Now, I know a lot of people are upset with PewDiePie. Not whether it's for setting a bad example for children, making gamers look bad, creating the adpocalypse that's pretty much screwed everyone here on YouTube, but...
Hold the phone. Did you just say he started the adpocalypse? You know what? I'm gonna leave a video down for you in the description, so you can go watch it. That person explains why the adpocalypse started. It's not because PewDiePie said something offensive. The people who reported on it said just as offensive stuff. Do you know why it happened? The media is threatened by YouTube. Any mainstream form of entertainment is threatened by YouTube. The first couple of companies to remove their ads were AT&T and Verizon. Now you may ask, oh, why does that matter? Well, here I'll explain to you. What does AT&T have? A cable service. What is not being used as much anymore? The cable service. Now let's go to Verizon. What does Verizon have? Well, Yahoo. What does Yahoo have? It's cheap YouTube, that's what it is. It's a cheap Google, that's what it is. Meaning they have reasons to pull their ads other than that. And you might also say, oh, then why did all the smaller guys pull their ads? What would you do if you saw bigger companies pulling their ads and you were afraid of being hit with backlash? You would, kind of pull your ads in fear of that. But ultimately, these companies don't care about what you want or anything like that. They only care what they want, and they want money. But do watch the video in the description. He does a fantastic job at explaining it. I could not do it any good.
What really gets me is not the fact that he used a word as an insult on multiple occasions, but the fact we have so many people defending this. We have people actually defending the use of a racial slur.
And here the lies start. You see, I'm not defending the use of the word, I'm defending his right to use the word. There's a major difference in the two. You should learn it.
Not only did this man say something stupid, this man is a racist. A racist who almost single-handedly has created a situation that prevents you from earning extra money.
Okay, Mr. PewDiePie prevented you from earning extra money. How about you move that Patreon link in your description? You can still earn extra money. However, he just reinforced something that was already happening in YouTube at the least. Videos have been being demonetized for nothing for over a year now. The apocalypse did not happen until earlier this year. Do you see any correlation here, buddy? It's not PewDiePie's fault, it's YouTube's fault. So your gripe is not with PewDiePie, it is with YouTube. But don't worry, I'm here to point your anger in the right direction.
And yet, a lot of people are not only cool with this racism, they're cool with him creating a situation that has taken food off their plate.
Listen to people like you complain about this lack of money is more annoying than getting teammates that don't listen to you in the game. Because at least in a game, I can carry my team. Listening to you complain, I cannot carry anything other than my sanity through the entirety of it.
Like, the only way to describe you people is your cucks.
How dare you even attempt to use the word cuck in a manner that is not pointing towards the left. Or the alt-left, I should say. Here's the question, which version of cuck did you mean? Cuckold or cuckservative? Because each one is not a good depiction of what I am. Because the only cuck here is you, buddy.
There's no other word to describe you. But, what happens next? You get all these idiots talking about free speech, free speech, free speech, and yet they know absolutely nothing about free speech.
Free speech gives you the right to say whatever you want to say, whenever you want to say it. It, however, does not give you the right to be free of judgment. As I'm not saying you shouldn't judge PewDiePie for what he said, you should. It is your right. However, to make a video and claim that he's a racist for slipping up and saying a word, well, yes, you practice your free speech. However, I'm also practicing my freedom of speech by criticizing you for your actions. Might I add, not very smart actions.
Look, you can say whatever the hell you want. You can be as racist as you want. Hell, I implore you to be, and to be true to yourself, because I'd rather you be a racist in the open than a racist in the shadows. Better the devil you know.
Then I suggest you not get into arguments with people you know nothing of, because as you said, better the devil you know
than the devil you don't. I mean, I've seen comments like, slavery ended 200 years ago. You need to get over it. You need to move on. Well, my good tiki torch wielding friends, slavery might have ended 200 years ago, but blacks have only recently, within the last 50 years, had the right to vote.
I'm glad you brought this up, buddy, because a slur I know you use towards, homosexuals would be less justified than that one, because they just recently, like in the last 10 years, actually it's more like the last 2 years, but still, get all the rights that you already had. And they still don't have all the rights that you already have in most places. Like where I live, it is illegal for, well, they can't get married either way, so it doesn't matter. You can't get married here anymore, because they got away with that to stop it from them having to marry gay people. And no, it's not happy, I mean homosexual, off topic, okay. But anyway, these people are still being killed in other countries for being gay. They are still being hunted for being gay. You wanna talk about equality? True equality? Well, guess what? If you can say that slur, then anybody should be able to say the N-word. Now, shouldn't they? But that's not equal. Shut up. Yes, it is. You saying that nobody can say that word is the equivalent of saying, I'm better than you. Because if we could say that word, I'd be the first one in line to be able to. You wanna talk about racism? Does that sound racist to you? Because, I mean, it seems like you're putting a lot of belief of superiority into your race. Could it be that you're guilty of what you're claiming others to be? But hey, that's just, some southern idiot's take on it, and what could I know? As I said, it's not like I studied these people who actually argue this stuff.
Only 50 years. My father is only a little bit older than 50 years, and yet slavery was abolished in 1865, yet blacks weren't able to vote for a whole 100 years later.
Okay, let's talk about this for a moment. You just said your father was barely over 50. That would mean he would not remember what it felt like back then. Because up till age, I think 10, if I remember correctly, you don't remember. I could be wrong, my, info on how the human mind works is a little old, but still, it's not something that you'd be barely 50 and remember.
Imagine that. You being free, but you not having any kind of equal rights for 100 years later. People act like this whole thing is ancient history. Like to the point where it's the dinosaurs. We don't even know. We have no history or evidence it happened. And yet, like I said, only 50 years ago did we have the right to vote. But you know what? We should forget about that. Just like the Native Americans should forget about that. Just like the Jews should forget about that.
I'm glad you brought up Native Americans because now I can put in my 2 cents without you getting triggered. No, we should not forget. We should remember and not let it define us. You should not let the history define you. Because when you do, you lose track of what is reality. What is now, what is the past. You lose track of it and you start to develop a mentality of, say, 50 years ago. For example, you start developing that mentality, and that is not good. It is very, very bad.
Everybody, hell, we should all just forget about everything, because those who ignore history are not destined to repeat it, remember? Look, we're getting a little bit off topic here, but there's a reason that people should not be throwing racial slurs, and especially when you are the guy with 54 million subscribers and
57,350,105 to be exact on the number.
You hold the responsibility of being the most watched person on YouTube. This is an Xbox Live circa 2002. A lot of those words we used as kids, they're not socially acceptable now. And racism has never been acceptable, period.
Actually, if you think about it, it was acceptable back a long, long time ago. So your whole "it was never acceptable" is wrong. It was, not in your lifetime, my lifetime, or anybody else's lifetime, but a long time ago it was acceptable. By society, of course, not by most people, just by society.
Throw some racial slurs at your job. Tell me how it turns out. I implore you, go to your place of employment. Throw around these words, and then tell me how it turns out. But I know you won't.
You've said implore so many times that it's lost all meaning. Please find a new word.
You try to act stupid, like nothing will happen, but you know what will happen if you go into work and you start throwing around racial slurs.
Again, what if you're self-employed?
Now, PewDiePie, he's not a kid, people. He's a 27-year-old man. And it might be unfair that he's under the magnifying glass, but that's the price you pay of fame. And again, like I said before, I am more disappointed in the people defending this guy and defending the racial slurs more so than he is actually using them.
Okay, now I know I've gotten lazy with my wording in my last couple of videos, and I've screwed up on a couple of wording mistakes and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I just did one right there. But you are more disappointed in the people defending PewDiePie than he is for using this slur. I mean, I hate to say it, buddy, but I think you need some help. Like, maybe write down the script first. I don't need scripts because most of this stuff comes to mind as I'm watching the video.
Oh, but it's just a word. I keep hearing that it's just a word, but then again, I keep forgetting that white people, the descendants of the oppressors, get to tell us, the descendants of the victims, how we should feel.
It is logically and statistically impossible that all the people saying that are descendants of slave owners. And let's do it this way. Should I be mad at the Redskins for using a racial slur as their name? The answer is no, I should not. Because a word only has power if you let it. A word is only as bad as the usage of it. Like a long time ago, cuckold was an extremely foul word. Something you could get killed over. But now it's just something people do around. Because it doesn't mean anything anymore. Same with pleb. Society changes. These words lose its meaning the more you use it. If you stop thinking in the short term and think in the long term, you'd realize this.
Like, can y'all just let us live without trying to control how we think and feel for once? Can y'all just let us, live without telling us how to think and feel about things that your ancestors did to our ancestors?
Do I need to actually find the statistics for you to read, or are you going to stop saying this broad statement that's factually incorrect? Some it is correct, however, not all.
Can you do that for me, please? Thank you. I mean, who gave you tiki torch wielding clowns the right to tell others how to feel and think about things?
The First Amendment, as it gave you the right to make this video, that's hugely incorrect.
When? When did it happen? You all can say whatever you want. You have the freedom of speech. I implore you.
I said stop using that word, you... And yes, I'm trying not to go to name-calling. I'm trying my hardest, you have no idea. The only reason why is so I seem more intelligent than you. I don't resort to name-calling immediately like you. Tiki torch wielding, whatever. Like, I don't even know what you said. Most of this stuff's in one ear, out the other.
You to say whatever you want. I implore you to be honest. I implore you to be racist in public. I implore you to be racist at your job. I implore you to be on social media. I implore you to be honest with yourself.
I implore you to learn a new word, because apparently you only know how to use the word implore.
And to be racist, because like I said, I'd rather know who you are out in the open than to not know who you are in the shadows. But at the same time, y'all need to accept who and what it is that you really are. And y'all need to stop crying when people call you what you are. And that is what you are, a racist.
Ugh. So, because nobody believes that the race is superior, yet they use a word, they are racist. You know what, I'm gonna do you a favor and Google the definition of racist for you right now. Racist, noun. A person who shows or feels discrimination or prejudice against people of other races, or who believes that a particular race is superior to another. Adjective. Race for racist, showing or feeling discrimination or prejudice against people of another race, or believing that a particular race is superior to another. So, do we fit under those categories? I don't think so. I mean, I don't feel any discrimination, and I don't show any discrimination, nor do I believe one race is particular better. particularly, I don't know anymore, I can't speak, it's 4:57 AM, what do you expect? I mean, again, I could be wrong, but, I mean, this definition here, which is, for what dictionary? Oh wow. The use for it went up in 2010, I wonder when, what happened in 2010? That sounds like around the time Tumblr was created. But that's funny. That's just funny. Well, hey, Merriam-Webster says the belief that a race is superior. But anyway, you get the point. Racist does not mean what you believe it means. If it did, then, well, I mean, I guess we would be racist. But words have good definitions to them. But it's always the context behind the use that matters. So, what about you go back to your hole with your line and find a new word? Well, if you like me owning this hypocrite, please do leave a like, comment, subscribe, all down below as well as check out my social media down below as well. I have a new donation thing if you can only donate, every once in a while if you want to, instead of once every month. And I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.